Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear.
loud and clear.
Yep, loud and
Okay,
clear.
great. So I have to yell. My voice is a little unwell.
Yeah, mine too. I'm not feeling well as it is.
Same here. I missed
Trying
this because
to.
I was worried I had strep.
Mine is just caused from stress. Really bad. So
Bonjour.
I and bonjour. So Chelsea, I'll open up the meeting, but can you read off the stuff? Because I don't have the paperwork or anything. Um,
Is it in your email?
I've been out I've been out sick for the past um couple days, so I really haven't even been able to get anything really.
Do you want me to do it or the vice president here?
Can the vice president in my
Sure. Yes.
trying to find
Huh?
my my phone's gonna die. I was trying to look for the. Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna open up the meeting at 5:02 p.m. Our regular Endazhi meeting. So Kels, can you read the stuff off for me, please? I appreciate that.
Yeah, so roll call.
Yeah.
Well, so we're gonna skip working agenda then?
Oh, yeah, we could do the working agenda. Just go ahead and do that because the regular board meeting's at 5:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, I gotta find my phone charger so I can find my email and get the paperwork. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I make horrible.
So be careful. I already canceled out myself in the it's slaving. Sorry,
He's a bubble.
I have to turn that thing off.
Internet. I don't know if I got the correct email for the board meeting. Is it this large 11-page document?
Okay. Think so. I don't
Because that's
know.
all I got in my emails from Rochelle recently is it says regular board meeting template and it's 11 pages long.
I could.
Because if not, I can vote. Otherwise, I will not be able to do notes for this meeting because I do not have the notes available to me or the agenda. At least looking at my notes or my emails, I don't see it.
You have the agenda?
It's like I said, Rochelle sent me this thing and it's 11 pages long and there's a whole lot going on in here and I can't tell what's what.
Did you look in the 25 and 26 Ian Board of Directors folder in your Google Drive?
I have not. Maybe I should check there.
I just finished module one to carry on. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. What, 2 hours? Oh, yeah, so you
Oh,
put
yeah,
that.
the full match. Oh, which one?
Yeah, I have for that. So we're missing nuggets. Oh, we should get 2 million.
I'll send this to you, Leslie, and, Vicky.
Okay, Miigwech.
We can take attendance as well. Do you want to go find her something? Right? Pretty much.
Hey, I saw you this morning. I saw you this morning. By,
Oh, by walking?
yeah, I was just like, oh, she's probably something with a creep. So I was like really waving and
I didn't see, did I see?
no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you were just walking in your days.
Yeah, got down there, well, the time, went to, went to the Aurora was happening school this year. And so, I worked on that watermark on Wednesdays, and so I got to know some, I said, yeah, like, do all this stuff, I'm gonna. Nice, yeah, it was. I think you just.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't see what I was looking at.
I had to laugh at myself. I was like, if she did see me, she's probably like, oh my God, who's sexy?
Oh, no. Somebody honked though too, and I was like, what?
Vicky, do you want me to take attendance or still wait?
Um, let's wait another minute. I don't know. Did anybody hear anything from the Comas?
I'm here. She's here.
Is she?
I asked you more.
Okay. Oh, Bonjour. Go
Yes, I
ahead,
do.
start with the attendance. What?
Okay. Chelsea, you're McComas,
Here.
Bianca,
Present.
Leslie,
Here.
Vicky.
Here.
I think we asked Nate to do a prayer and song.
Agora, sema que vem te cadito mano, industry do mato, se we, que não é, eles têm de utilizar o malte, they're not gonna get, muito deixar, muito, isto não se gosta de não é água, man, ninguém quer, onde a gente está ali, não mais, ninguém é muito, ninguém, que não mais, industry não, não, I guess go on shishin mi go kina si chike ma. Mi pesi di tawgi normali. Ma mi go train no shan shon sanan no kom sanan mi go kina go na esperi. Mi go ge go ma beles mi go kina beles go beles so we guess go mi just we je say ma te. Ah, the go we to caution na no go da. And the minute chike ma. No say in the ma to see. But your mind. Man, du mycket typiskt ägd var det inte var innan det
Number two, mission and vision. Mission. The mission is to prepare each student for college with an enhanced knowledge of the Ojibwe language, culture, leadership, and environmental stewardship. Vision. At Endazhi-Nitaawiging, the vision is to create confident leaders grounded in their true inherent identities and to ensure that they are academically, socially, and spiritually prepared to positively change the community and world. 3, agenda approval. A motion to approve the agenda of the working school board meeting of September 17, 2025 as presented.
All motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Leslie?
Aye.
Okay, number 4, new business. Review September 17, 2025, regular board agenda.
Vicky, did you want to do you want me to help go through just the items? So that we can have time for any questions before the board meeting?
Yes, please. Appreciate it. Thank
So on my report, we broke it down to kind of address the different areas as part of our action items, our action plan with Osprey Wilds. There's a list of things they would like us to include on in a timeline. So we talked about that last meeting. This isn't in your guys' agenda, but it was in last agenda, and it's just kind of a few dates on I can pass it around now or make copies. Few dates on how to stay on track, turn things in on time, and kind of work towards making sure we're in compliance. So I've been working on that with the team, with Rochelle, and making sure we hit all of our deadlines and make sure we submit all of our items on our discrepancy letter received by Osprey Wilds. So they're working on that, meeting all the deadlines thus far. And now part of September is making sure we talk about academic data on every board meeting going forward, making sure the board kind of is aware on the status of where we are academically and where we are in the school mission vision related goals. So part of my presentation and report to you guys is talking about the mapping growth, which is NWEA. And we had an APAC meeting last week, or no, this week, yesterday, Tuesday. And so this is last year's data. I'll pass it around. It's reading. And we didn't score well at all overall as a school with our students. And there's a lot of different reasons that we noticed was a lot of them are just clicking through when they're testing, not prepared to test on computers or testing at all. So as part of that going forward this year is just really making sure our teachers have support and kind of getting them prepared for testing, getting them comfortable, but then also on the other end, teacher support in terms of understanding the mapping and the data that we receive so that we can provide additional support to students and each student. For example, title services. We've identified 2 teachers that will serve as title teachers for reading and math. So once we get the data, we'll be able to work through and support our teachers in understanding how to use that data and implement different strategies in the classroom with our curriculum to help scores. Also the messaging of the students, making sure they understand that it's important that they do the best they can while testing, even though scores don't necessarily reflect, their intellect. It's important that we capture so that we can help them. So it's that messaging, and then also just a different supports in place for students and staff with the scores. We started our NWA testing this week, so they're taking their fall testing, and we'll compile that data and provide supports for teachers and staff. MCA school-wide testing. I'll pass this around. It just shows attendance, full transparency on this report. It says we were 100% with attendance. That is false. That's not a report, and that's not accurate. We did have several missed last year. So we're working on a better system. We changed from Synergy to JMC, but then also providing our staff training and making sure we're in compliance with the policy that was passed in March. We have a new policy really holding parents accountable, but also our attendance staff, making sure we're getting them in the system, making sure they're updated. And then scores, this is just an overall, we did show little growth in math, 1 student. So that is showing some growth. That's not, not very good. But we have a small number base, so MCA testing is only 3rd through 8th this year, but last year was 3 through 7. So but there's our numbers compared to our district and the class and stuff. So again, scoring low. And that's one of the things that came up in our discrepancy letter is our students aren't showing academic growth. And so again, we're really getting, so we are, green was reading, yep, and then the dark goals and that. There is a comparison. If you go on Minnesota report card, you can pull up our school and all the data. We're getting last year's scores out 2/3.
What was that, Minnesota? What?
Minnesota report card. If you just Google that, you can click on that link and it'll pull, you can do a search for any school in Minnesota. So if you search Endazhi-Nitaawiging, it'll pull up all of the scores that we have.
Okay.
It'll go through year
Good.
too.
All right, me good.
So MCA, our calendar, our school testing calendar is online on our website. So if you ever need to know when we're doing testing or just pondering, you can always just look on our website. And then our mission related goals, that was one of the other discrepancies we had was no data on our Ojibwe language. And then our wellness. In our contract, it had the wellness medicine wheel as part of the measurement for wellness. We've been meeting with Osprey Wiles the past year and redefining that. So as part of that amendment, which is also down the line in the agenda items, approved agenda items is amending that, the verbiage of what that looks like. So we're actually going to change from doing the wellness wheel measurement to our culture events we have or social emotional learning that we provide to the student
Caleb.
in the school. So we're gonna measure that differently. And then our Ojibwe language, we are using our core values and some of that language in our core values. So that's our mission related goals. Let's see, any questions on that?
Yeah, so when me and Zevin do the EN mission driven learning team, when we developed the capstone for 8th grade math, and so we added on the grade and you can look at these. The aligning, whatever's being aligned with off, that would be nice to know with me and Zevin from the grading and stuff, so we can include those in the capstone as a year-long. Right,
Yeah.
wasn't that amazing?
Yep, so the goals, and I think it's on our contract in the shared file, but our goals are the academics or the reading. And then the other additional are the wellness and the Ojibwe, so I can share that with you.
Yeah, because I think this year for that learning team, we're redefining that graduate profile. For the new team. Awesome.
And I'll make sure, it's in should be in there too. The goals are in there, shared, and what it's saying, but, so what it's gonna measure is as a school. So for example, we do opening and closing ceremony. So when we bring them out and they see how to drum and be a part of that, the circle. So and we'll go by how many students are there. So we'll do a check on that and that'll measure the social part, emotional part. Another example is last year we did first days. So part of that healing therapeutic piece. And then we'll go by how many days that was offered and attendance. So we don't do each student per se, just the overall. What we provided that day, how many times a week. So we'll have that
So,
here soon for last.
so
year.
how do you measure for individuals then? How is that gonna be impacted on the individual's record?
It wouldn't be on the individual record, it'll be overall school goal. So how many times we provide that opportunity to our students.
So their participation in the opening and the prayer and the healing ceremonies and stuff, that's gonna be considered social, emotional, and mental health for them? Is that how that's gonna be recorded in their individual educational plan?
Not individual, it'll be as a part of our overall school goal for wellness and providing.
Great.
Great. What we will be able to track is who was there on those days,
Mhm.
but it won't necessarily go into their individual school folder as part of, the, cumulative folder.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
individual data, we'll just use the overall school data attendance and then how many days we're able to provide it and how many students participated on that day.
So, say for instance, they have an IEP or whatever, is that gonna be reflected on that?
No, not for individual. It'll just show, so if we have, let's see, 2 Ojibwe students there in that day of opening or closing ceremony.
Mhm.
Or courses, or let's say we do cultural, some type of teaching. I know Chelsea does a lot of different cultural, I think medicine wheel was even one of them. If they
Okay.
during that class, we provided it to that class and that would count as an overall attendance. So
Okay.
that's 5 kids attending on a school day and 3 on another day, you would say 5 attended and received social emotional on this way through wellness will teach. Or
Okay,
So it's not really assessing what they're gaining from participating, just that someone participating.
correct, yeah, right now, until we redefine, we gather and kind of regroup and see, okay, well, how can we measure next in the individual? But as
Right.
part of the capstone, we'll actually measure their growth in their in the students, it'll follow them. And that'll track kind of their growth depending on what they select for their capstone. Okay, and so ZBs was able to start that a little bit with Ramona last year. So I think this year we're really focusing on having our students have a capstone where we can show and incorporate our core values, mission vision related goals for each individual. It'll be specific to where they want to see those growths in all the areas, language, culture, academics, and they get to drive that. So we're working on that now with our partners. So that data will be available over time as they build and when they leave us good. So you'll be able to track that growth. But that's a work in progress also.
Okay, okay. Miigwech.
I'm just gonna go down the items to try to, 3 minutes of the board meeting. Really quick, I did want to touch base bylaws. So item F will be bylaw revisions. So in the different bylaw, items 1 through 4 are required by state or by authorizers to revise, and they're minimal revisions. For example, we're taking out chief administrator, we don't have one, so more applicable and to align with statute. And then number 5 is the one we did a vote on, and we got feedback from staff. We did a survey. 10 out of 12 did agree that they would like the board to, in the bylaws, to be written as composed of at least 5 non-related members instead of the up to 9 members. There was a little discrepancy in user interpretation in that piece. And so we went ahead and followed protocol and how to get that changed in the bylaws. So that's the proposal.
Just
From
really quick,
last time.
my name is misspelled again, and that could become a technicality involving and stuff on records.
It must have been. Okay. So we'll just mention that in the meeting to approve what the revisions are. To reflect on it. And then we have the pledge of allegiance, student handbook. We just added our behavior intervention, so I can pass that around. Everything is the same except for new staff, things and everything's updated, and I have notes on.
These ones only have to be activated. And those ones have been submitted, so.
Okay, so let's just make sure we reflect that in our motion. With the revision 1. Sorry about that. And I think that's it.
Okay, do we have any more questions, any more comments in regards to that was the agenda from last one, right?
No, that was this agenda.
Okay, that was this agenda. Okay, so do we need to have a motion for approval on that one? Or not on the regular meeting?
It'll be regular meeting. I think the working session is just to have extra time to ask questions.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
If there's any more questions, maybe do we have anything else that we need to go on? So do we want to open up the regular meeting then?
We have to adjourn this one first.
Sorry, jumping the gun here. Leading a horse in a blinding. So I motion to adjourn the working board at 5:31.
Make a motion.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed to adjourn working session at 5:31 PM. Thank you, Chelsea. Miigwech. So, okay, I'm gonna put my mean mug back up here, okay? So I'm gonna call the regular board meeting to order at 5:32 PM, September 17th, 2025. So I'll do a roll call. Chelsea,
Here.
Thomas,
Here.
Bianca,
Here.
Leslie,
Here.
Victoria, here. We already had the prayer and song this afternoon. Miigwech, Nate, for doing that for us. Do we need to read the mission again?
We have two guests in here. Can we get their names to add on the guest line here?
Okay, so we have two guests. Can you
You.
introduce yourselves, please?
And then there's someone on there, so Addie is online. What's her name?
Addie Maza, I'm with Osprey Wilds. I'm just gonna be observing tonight, so I'll be off camera.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Alexis Needham is sitting over here, Vicky.
Bonjour, Alexis.
And then we have Caleb Smith.
Bonjour, David Smith.
He shares here and then that way you'll be seen by me.
I think we're now. Looks like you.
Okay, all right.
Figured I'd give her the first chair and then I'll progress on.
And that's all the guests, Vicky.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna go into item 1, agenda approval for was it September 17th? No, that's today. My bad. Sorry. So it was August 25th, right? Chelsea. You gotta help me out because I'm holding.
Actually,
Oh.
that piece isn't on the agenda.
Okay.
Or it's on there, but it's in new business on this side to call it for August 22nd, working board, regular board. It's a new business, A, B, C.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Chelsea to read off what she has in front of her because I don't have that right now. I apologize for that. I've been out sick for the past 2 days, 3 days. So I'm gonna ask Chelsea to read off what we have for the agenda. Appreciate that. Thank you.
And number
We
2,
got-
mission and vision. Mission. The mission is to prepare each student for college with an enhanced knowledge of the Ojibwe language, culture, leadership, and environmental stewardship. Vision. At Endazhi-Nitaawiging, the vision is to create confident leaders grounded in their true inherent identities and to ensure that they are academically, socially, and spiritually prepared to positively change the community and world. Number 3, agenda approval. A motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting or the regular board meeting agenda of September 17th, 2025 as presented. They added the correction. I have no idea.
All motion.
So we motion and there's Dina, you're with that, so since we have to change all the names on here, how does that work? Otherwise it's invalid.
Yeah, I would just, motion to approve the board agenda, with revisions of Bianca's name to reflect one N throughout the document.
And through this reporting.
Yeah. So we just write it any sorts in the minutes of that.
Mhm.
And then it should be-
Leslie, did you hear that? She was in the moments person.
Not really. I'm trying to catch what I can.
Okay, so we just want to make sure we approve the agenda, with the revisions to reflect Bianca's correct spelling in her name, which is Bianca, 1N.
Oh.
Throughout all the documents.
All right, perfect.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Motion passed to have a revision to Bianca Mendoza's name in regards to the spelling of her name. Next one, Charles.
So
You want me to read them? Welcome to this meeting of the school board here at Endazhi-Nitaawiging. We are extremely pleased that you have shown an interest in our school affairs by attending this meeting. The school board allows public participation at its meeting, but at the same time has the responsibility for conducting its business in an orderly fashion. We will provide the audience with an opportunity to request to speak. We request that before you speak, you announce your name. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes unless the time limit is waived by a majority of the board members at present. At a public meeting of the board, no person shall orally initiate charges or complaints against an individual, employees of the district, or challenge instructional materials used in the district. All such charges, if presented to the board directly, shall be referred to the executive director of Endazhi-Nitaawiging for investigation and report. We would also like to remind the public that the school board is not allowed to comment on your concerns if there are no questions. We will open the public comment to section of the board meeting.
Are there any questions or comments for the public?
I don't think we have any public.
I have one. I'm not exactly a member of the public, but just a reminder that for remote participation for board members, one of the requirements is to be able to see and hear each person. So if you are a board member attending virtually, it is required to have your video on if possible.
Okay.
If that's not
Sorry.
something you can do, then you can turn it off. But
I wasn't think I'd look that pretty on the video, so I didn't want to do it. No, I was
you and me
kidding.
both. That's how I feel. But I'll do it too. We'll do it together.
But I just being ill, so I didn't want to really be
Thank
shown
you.
in public. But that's a good reminder. Appreciate that. Thank you. Miigwech. So if we're gonna be doing virtually, then yeah, I get that. I appreciate that. The reminder. Thank you, Addie.
Then we can move on to reports. Can they get the finance report?
Yes.
Yeah?
Nokomis,
Yeah.
Nokomis, can you do the report since I wasn't there yesterday, Monday?
I'm not sure what to report. We went over the document. Is it this one? Yeah, we went over the document. And it looks like we're in a slightly better position than we were last year at this point in time. And it seems as though, money is gonna still be coming in and they're still finalizing the number of students that they have. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
And
Mama, I had my shoes under the bed for an hour. It is.
In the first page, it just breaks down what the different pages are. So exactly what Nicole said. It breaks it down to the fund balance currently projected at 220,015, which is 7.2%, which is really good. Right on track of the projection for the approved budget. Page 2, it just again lets us know what our state aid received is. It breaks it down. We didn't receive any federal aid, but the grants received 185,058. Amongst that, our payroll totaled 73,009, and our bills for the month was 252,686. So on page 2, it breaks it down for you by each month, and then the projection, and then total revenues. Page 3, this goes over all of our checks and wires, so everything we paid. And Mary and Amy reviewed it, and the list, they don't believe anything is out of the ordinary. These are regular vendor payments. A lot of our personnel on there, this is for the month of August. So we are still doing a lot of our summer programming, which came out of our after school / summer programming grant. So all of those staff you see there is part of the grant. Lorraine's Cafe is providing food for those days. Same with Red Lake Trading Post, we get a lot of our food there. Snacks. Menards would be culture supplies. Let's see if I see anything. New Era 4K. New Era 4K is our drone guide. We did our drone for that day, drone teaching. And then, let's see, Quality Inn was our sewing guide we brought over. So we boarded him there because Red Lake Casino was booked up. Let's see, Amazon would be culture supplies. SR Harris is that nice fabric store I was just introduced to. Amazing fabric store if you're a sewer. That's what that is. Yeah.
That's an awesome story. I love that.
I know, I didn't know that.
That's an awesome store.
It is,
Thank
yeah. T&K Outdoors, 160,000, that's our play space, it's our play yard. So that was playground, they came and we had to pay them out. Oh my gosh, yeah. At first the kids were saying, I'm bored, it's fun. They figured it out. You gotta run around and find things to do, use your imagination and really bust out your skills. So, but yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. 4 is just a summary of everything similar to page 2. So, and it just breaks it down and compares from 2023, 2024 to now, and the projection of spending. And it just does a little comparison, but it's exactly the same as page 2. just
Okay, I really appreciate that you were able to clarify the way the budget runs and how we go as a flow instead of jumping all over like when we first started. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Sylvia. So we need a motion to approve the finance.
Is there a presentation?
Yeah, I think the motion for finance is down a few items. I think we're presentation for now and tribal treasury.
Okay.
Just get a message.
You guys want to state your statement? Bye-bye.
Hello, he looks missing.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I just got a message that Vernell is running late and coming. But if I can prepare for her, can we do that by sharing the audit firm copies? Did you all get the message that we're hoping to share with you the proposed audit firm copies and these audit, I mean, these.
Those are the ones I emailed to you.
Okay. I remember seeing them. Trying to figure out what I did at my phone.
Depends. When we talk to the virtual friends, if you have 3 documents. One of them is gonna say Moss Adams in the upper left-hand corner. It has a green title, Opportunities to Rise, Moss Adams.
You know what? I don't think I got. Leslie and Vicky, I'll scan this into you. I'm not sure if you got it.
Shall I get close enough so I can see them? Excuse me. Coming to you, camera people.
Yeah, I did not get that document, so thank you, Sylvia.
We can almost see it. We can almost see it. Come on, camera. Talk to me, Goose. There we go. Moss Adams, Opportunity Rise. We're looking for that one. It's a 21 pager.
Okay, that must have been the one you're talking about, Leslie.
The second one is by Cherry. Upper left-hand corner, it says Cherry.
Yep.
Look for something like this, and it says draft all over it.
And I just got a huge document from Rochelle. It's nothing like that.
And the third one, upper left-hand corner, says MSA, and on the right, it says Cliff Adams. Let's see if we can get it to project. On the right, it says Clifton Larson Allen, and we abbreviate them as CLA. But the point with these 3 is, we're looking for assistance to prepare the audit documents for Qualic B, and Qualic B is the holding company that is part of the market tax credit.
I just wanted, because we're supposed to.
So we went through a little bit of effort to find 3 folks that would provide us a bid. These are them. Again, adult learning, right? Repetition. Moss Adams, Cherry, and CLA. And in the interest of you need what? Which one? This is what it is. Good, you got it off. Okay. Good. No worries.
I'm just trying to stall and touch it.
You are?
No.
Is this a good time for me to pause or for us to make sure anyone in the virtual audience has what they need, or we can get them what they need?
Well, I know Sylvia's working on sending me that, so I should get that soon.
He's sending you all 3 PDFs, maybe?
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
that's,
Yeah.
okay, that's 4. Oops. We did that. Okay.
Can I give you the Reader's Digest version of this? Because it's
Okay, just sent.
less, it says, Sylvia says she says something.
So Lexi, that was the 4 pages that you sent, the 4 documents you sent me, right?
I believe so. I think I sent you 2 emails.
Yes. I'm just looking at them now, so. Okay.
I think, if you look at them. But I'll double check. I thought I heard that.
All right, I got it.
Fantastic. I've got extra copies if anyone at the table in the room needs one. It is now time for me to share the Reader's Digest version of this. The
Caleb, which one are you starting with?
And we start with the one called Cherry Becker. In the upper left-hand corner, it says Cherry Becker.
Harry Becker. Okay.
Good question. How do you actually pronounce the first name? I just call it Cherry. In my opinion, I visited with Cherry. I had a teleconference with them, explained to them the scope of the new market tax credit. And this was the bid that they provided. I was grateful that in my observations, they seem to understand what a new market tax credit is. For folks that give us bids and they're learning just like we are, I'm not impressed. But you'll notice on page 3 of the Cherry document, the pricing that they gave us, and it's pretty much anywhere from 270 an hour to 725 an hour. And they didn't give a cap dollar amount. It just pretty much says, as long as it takes, we're going to charge you. We're happy to help. Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in the document that Sylvia sent us, it would be page 32 to 35 roughly.
Ooh, they're all in one, huh?
No.
Oh my. Thank you for that, Les. Sorry, do you go by Les or Leslie?
Leslie.
Leslie. Depends. Any questions on that, or should we move ahead? Move ahead. The next document, if we talk about the one that says opportunity rising, Leslie, if you can give us a cheat sheet for the folks that have a all-in-one, what page that one might be on, and it says Moss Adams in the upper left-hand corner.
That is page 11, it looks like.
And if I can bother you one more time, Leslie, this Moss Adams document is 21 pages long. And if you get to page 14, at least the one that says 14 in the bottom, that is what price is.
14.
14. Thank you very much. Oh, perfect. Thank you. In my opinion, as I visited with the Moss Adams folks, they understood very, very carefully not only new market tax credit, but tribal involvement with it. And let me break out that $114,000 bid on this. That's their cap dollar amount. And their anticipation is as we need them, they will charge us. You know, they normally don't come in less than $200 an hour. But they work pretty hard to explain the fact that you're calling us to teach you how to take care of your audit. If you want to, we're going to prepare you so you don't have to call us again. The courtesy of planning ahead. These guys seem to be very, very careful to prepare us for tomorrow.
That's what Secretary said. Meet the rising challenges and opportunities of tomorrow.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. When I shared this one with Vernell, she said, Caleb, what's the pay schedule? Is it all at once? Is it half and half? Pay as you go? And I was very glad to go back to this gentleman and say, what's the skinny? And he says, you need us for 2 hours, we're going to charge you for 2 hours. That's all. You need us for more? Take care of the audit, take care of any other training, any other financial planning organization. That's the posture of Moss Adams. In my humble opinion, it's the full meal deal. Questions? Shall we move on?
So there was no cap amount for this
For the first one,
firm, yeah, or
the question is, did Cherry have a cap amount? And the answer is no, they don't.
and then they're both per hour.
Yeah. And I use the term time and materials. However much time we ask them to help, they're going to charge us. That's the bid that they give us. As opposed to a firm fixed price, we're not going over this, we're going to do whatever it takes to help you out. It's just time and materials wide open. For those. For the Cherry. Sure. But Moss Adams came in with such a high number, how could we come in underneath 102,000? Questions? Keep going. Thinking about keeping it going then. Next document, on the upper right-hand corner, it says Clifton Larson Allen. Thank you very much for the visual there. In the upper left-hand corner, it says MSA 104 overview. MSA 104 overview. This is my abbreviated name for them is CLA. That's what they call themselves. I had a relatively thorough discussion with CLA regarding where we are, where we want to go, and what we'd like their help with. And after we shared a non-disclosure agreement, I felt comfortable sharing our trial balance, general ledgers, everything. And I was completely shocked that their price came in, anywhere between $6,000 and $9,000 total. And after they looked through all of the documents that are already prepared, I have reason to think this is the most carefully thought through bid for us. They know exactly where we are, they know where we need to go, and they're coming to the most cost-effective price. I can't believe it. I hope it's true.
Yeah, that's almost suspicious that comes from the other one. And they understood the tribal involvement as well.
Voice of experience, please.
Yeah, so we did have a relationship with CLA in the first year of startup. And very, very good in the beginning. They helped us with their application process, pre-existing, right? Inception, and they helped us develop a projected budget. The communication was very well. We had a representative that, answered any time of the night because we were working around the clock. Got the budget going, and as part of the startup, we continued with them as just that opportunity that we already had that working relationship and agreement. So they worked with us for the first year, and as we started working more closely with them for payroll, TRA, a lot of their finance burden is on getting us set up, getting things paid, making sure we're in the system, making sure all of our state payments are being made, and they dropped the ball in that area. Communication wasn't as good. and TRA wasn't set up, TRA wasn't set up. However, once we finally got to the issue, and we transitioned from CLA to now SMS, who we work with, turns out like a lot of the data that was entered on their end was incorrect. A lot of our staff employees had the same date of birth and social in the system, so just kind of getting by and making sure we had to write checks for probably about 8 months, because they kept saying, well, we can't, they're not there yet, we need this, we need that. When in fact, like, so there's not that much transparency, and it was just a really not a good working relationship for our startup. Turns out, you know, they are a firm that was the first getting into the school side of finance. So we were one of their, I don't know, they have a lot of experience outside of school, so maybe this is one of their areas they excel in. But our previous experience was not good, and their performance was not good for us in our first year startup. Did you not touch on
They provide that information and they put it there.
No.
which one was that?
Yeah. So, as I visited with them, we spoke only about new market tax credit.
That was the local one.
Yeah. For the visiting, for the virtual team, we've been joined by.
Which is why I need everybody, apologies for being tardy, we got some under the weather children right now, so straps going around, hand, foot, mouth going around, all the babies, wash your hands.
Yes.
And for your benefit, earlier we just done the quick overview of all three.
Okay, great. I love that. I kind of figured that you guys would take the cake and get it going. Because, yeah, that's
With her
awesome.
permission.
No, that's awesome, because that's exactly, you know, we don't want to, of course, waste time. And I already kind of reviewed what we needed to. I'll be real and honest and transparent that, you know, I feel like all of us are going into choosing a firm unknowing if they will be able to perform, because this is new to all of us. It's new to everybody at this table. So whether we choose one that will really outshine, I know it's going to depend on what we deliver to it. I have very difficult to navigate new market tax credits and all that they need out of us. It's hard for me to put a trust in an entity to take care of us, because it is such a different ballgame to be in. So with that being said, you know, I really trust the team's points on who they vetted out, because I put it on their plate to vet it out, because Caleb is mostly our go-to to deal with all of the new market tax credit asks. He puts it all together. He knows what all pieces are needed, and Lex is learning that as well. So with that being said, it's hard for us to have to hand this off, because we've only had it on our plate for what, 2 years? And so we're barely holding on. So to hand it off to somebody else with maybe more resources will be better, but I can't promise that. And that's what's hard about going through this year, is that we're not gonna know until we choose one and get in there and see if they can deliver. Just because new market tax credit isn't everybody's ball game. It's different. And we're learning.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Let's say it's best case scenario. Let's say we find someone and they help us. This is what I'm hoping to get from it. By the way, thank you for making the point that this is a 7-year contract if everything goes well. We're 2 years into it. And one of the first year, it's a total of, well, since you're taking notes, let's say this way, it's a 35-year agreement. If we play well, it's a 7-year agreement, and the last 28 years are forgiven. So
That's in the fine print.
that's in the fine print. And I worked with Sylvia to share with you a few of the documents that give you a quick overview of the whole agreement. And it should have been in a drive, maybe we shared with you, but it's there if you'd like us to point you in the direction again. But my hope is we're 2 years into a 7-year deal. If this goes well, we're not only going to come clean on the first year audit, and the first year audit is relatively complex because it includes all of the closing docs and all of the fine print for the. It's really, really entertaining. How about that? And the second year is relatively simple. Monthly rent and lease payments, nothing going on of interest, but we're still behind in everything. But I'm hoping to not only get us caught up with the first year. No, just the audit.
Oh, we do make payments on your guys.
We are making monthly payments, yes, and we're current on it. But other than making monthly $11,000 payments, there's nothing more going through the books. There's nothing more to be complicated.
Yeah, the ins and outs are pretty clean.
Yes. So, with any luck, we're gonna get help with cleaning up the first year audit, and the second year audit, which is due October 31st of this year. We ain't gonna make that, but we can then get an extension, and we'll be clean with the first year, be clean with the second year, and hopefully we can just ride this baby out. That's my best case.
I had a complete stare, but I was no longer. And I was like, wait, he's the whiz kid behind this right now. That's kind of saving our butt. Saving our butt on this, yeah.
IT still under treasurer's office.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone ever knew that, but they kind of fall within us, even though they're overall, they fall within our team. Because we're all indirect.
Well, a lot of the scare is too that like I signed those along with chairman, like 9,000 pages. But I felt like I signed it, but just because it just did the extensive complexity of what we got into.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you where you said that, we're just buy it out when it's not that simple. Thing.
Yeah, that was my initial thought of it is what do we pay and how do we get out of this? Because the A, B, C, D through Z that we have to provide. I almost felt like we should have cash flowed that last 3 to 4 months. And called it good. But now here we are. And now we gotta get our fine for it.
It sounded pretty. I mean, you had Sam out there chasing eagles on his land and showing these fancy New Yorkers. And it was crazy. It was like a crazy story. And they said they'd help us, and I didn't know.
With it all
I didn't
included.
understand. Yes, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
All I know, what I do know is it's 7 financial entities and 52 banks that are involved. And they get a tax break for throwing us a little bit of change.
Yeah.
Each of them.
Yeah.
But then then you look beyond that and it's even more.
More intricate,
Yeah.
more intricate,
Yeah.
yep, especially down to the reporting and how all of our numbers flow into theirs.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest piece. That's where they hooked you.
Yeah.
With the whole, all right, you play good 7, and then you hit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
No stress.
yeah, no pressure, guys. No pressure on us either. No, but, the real deal is we're ready to hand it off to a firm and watch them fly. That's what we're ready to do because we feel like they will have the resource to get everything in order. Not saying we don't, but there's more complexity to the pieces of this audit and requirement that the bank can handle, to be real. I'm honestly not even sure how Eat got through theirs with the store because they're just now wrapping up their year-end stuff.
There was less entities involved.
There was, and it was a smaller, probably the smaller. Yeah.
So I would knock on wood, but we found a financial company in the beginning, so then I for the school. and it went tank and you find out all these things or whatever. You're always rolling the dice with different companies. And then Rochelle plugged us in with another company that she trusted for years and years that she had a relationship with. And we were very lucky at that.
Yeah.
But I mean, fingers crossed to help this thing works out, because I think without Caleb, I mean, we wouldn't have made it this far.
To be honest, that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And that's why I reached to a lot of, our individuals who would like to create more opportunity with the new market tax credit. I immediately shut it down because we don't have capacity to do that. We don't have a whole entity to take care of all of these requirements.
It should be a resolution.
Well, I mean, for tribal, but I mean, for profit, maybe it'll work. You know what I mean? Inc. made it work. I don't know how they did it. Good job that they did it. But again, also, we're in a school. This is different too. You know, the school no market, like, it's probably completely different than the deal that he's got. So I did not take the time to review their fine print and their good deal. I'm just glad that there's their closing point right now.
I don't know what that's sounding, and the other part to that too is, I don't know who's on the board for this. I think you could call it.
It's console.
It's also.
Yeah, it's right now, I think they have listed as officers, I think is what we have listed. But I think overall, it just says the government.
So what would they? So what would the company, report, or what would be your responsibility?
Any questions to me? I think you're asking. We ask somebody to assist us, what are they gonna do? Is that wrong?
Yes.
Well, the answer,
With the reporting and what you've been doing.
let me pick up with the CLA bit, because we already have a non-disclosure in place. And I've already shared with them that all of our books, where we are. And I'm hoping they're gonna say, Caleb, these trial balances look like this, we need them to look like that. These general ledgers look like this, we need them to look like that. And I've got a handful of questions where there are financial transactions that I can't see what it was. If it just says it was a cash transaction, that's not enough for me to make a responsible financial decision. I need them to decode a couple of these transactions. I need them to help us build our bank accounts in our cost accounting system dynamics. Just walk us through all the stuff that is unknown, and they have not clearly identified it. The tribe is trying to stick with, GAAP financial standards. Clearly outline where any financial person can come in and read and understand what it is. But no market tax credit comes in with about 50% of that unknown. And they call themselves auditors, and I really want to laugh in their face. You guys are full of them. You can't call stuff all cash transactions and pull out responsible. No. Anyway, they're gonna decode the same dollar amount and move through all the bank accounts, and that should. I'm going to make the changes that they suggest, give them the revised reports, and when they say we got it, the next step is take what we've now built and give it to the auditing firm that is already in agreement with the new market tax credit. Their name is Novogradac. You give it to Novogradac and say, Novo, how does this thing look? And with any luck, they're going to say, sweet. What is interesting about this whole new market tax thing, the dollar amount from day one to the end of the 7-year period, they've got it all planned out. And in my humble opinion, money moves. You have targets and actuals and things change. Well, they're planning on zero change. That's a red flag to me. You're going to go 7 years and everything is going exactly like you planned. What world did you come from? But I'm assuming, since they think those numbers are so reliable that they can commit to that, beautiful. I can replicate that for the next 6 years, and I don't need anybody's help. But I'm hoping they can get me in there. I'm going to learn the rules of the road, verify, and then we should be able to run this baby to the end of it. That's
So looking to see if everything's accounted for accurately, it sounds like maybe different parts of it getting paid, if we don't know yet.
we don't know yet.
Okay, that's why we're hiring them to come in, take a look
Yes.
at all the transactions, see where everything's going, how it's accounted for,
It's not-
and if it should be accounted in that area.
Exactly.
Okay, and then once we get that built, work with you find your tax. And then you'll still be on board.
Absolutely.
Help for it, and then finish this and work then. Yeah.
We have pieces that we don't have built into dynamics.
Yeah.
So this firm is gonna be our secondary dynamics in building the invisible pieces we don't see of all these lovely little cash transactions. That's what these people are.
Yeah.
That's not us. We have our pieces that.
But right now,
flow.
we're just doing what we're told and saying, okay, we gotta get this out, we have to reports them, this, that in turn is gonna survey it out, but we don't know
Yeah,
what all that entails.
pretty much. And down to the dollar, so you know, the US bank accounts and all of those accounts and how all of those flow. Well, just once in a while, will we Red Lake Bank get a check? And that's how it flows back into your guys' account through Dynamics, our system. Now, when it moves around in those US banks, that's where these firms come in. Because
So an
that
audit
stuff
on
is
that.
not tied to our accounting system. We do not bank rate on it. We do not do anything with it because that's tied to the, how many banks? 30+ banks.
So nobody's monitoring that.
Well, all of the
So
key,
it comes to you,
all of the key players,
if on that.
yes.
Yeah,
It's a-
no
it's a
regret.
it's a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one company that's overseeing all of this, they're called Civic.
Oh,
The
that is the
administrators,
one.
the advisors that are supposed to help us, they're called Travoy, now they've all got their fingers in it. Well, Nova Granic is, and 20 is the investment company, I could keep on, but I don't wanna bore you to tears, but they've all got their fingers in this. Because they want it to work, and people getting their money out of it. But they're the ones that,
Probably taking.
of course. And there's one more piece of the puzzle I'm looking for, and that is. I like to quote, a job that's well begun is half done. Okay, we're gonna get through year one, we're gonna get through year 2 to 6. But man, I want year 7 to go smooth as pie, and I wanna get the heck out of this thing really smooth.
Yeah.
So I say, how do I get through this thing safely? Tell me again, I wanna get through this thing well, I don't want that puppy to be over.
It's like almost pieces now, and I understand it's. Address things like quality, and so you want to get all this stuff. So.
That would be a, that would should come through
I've
for
got
the
a
final to go there.
I've got a pile of stuff, when we get somebody on board. Get me through this.
But these guys are only gonna do the finance part. This is not. Meetings, this is not. Your inventory or anything, this is just. Finance piece.
I feel like it'll be a combo.
Agreed.
Maybe like a mix, but to be real, we don't know what the mix is gonna fully be.
Agreed.
Because some of the pieces may feed into the year-end report, I'm not sure. Of course, we're still gonna have to rely on Endazhi teams, Endazhi finance and our finance as well. That's what's so difficult is we have too many players in this game that we have to bring a big player in to keep us all rolling.
Yeah.
You hear me? Yeah. Ugh, Sorry. Makes me nervous thinking through this stuff. Like it really does.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lot, you know, it's like, man,
Well,
I don't know.
I'm really happy to still be alive to the stress of that, with the things I got involved with. I think there was at 1.2, I had a problem listing. And said, and the account was in my name. It had like $2 million or $4 million, like, and my name's never been attached to that, but what did I get into? And what am I into?
How can we keep your name clean for
Yeah,
this whole
right,
thing?
right.
It's, we don't want you to get thrown under the bus, but it's
Yeah.
too complicated to pay attention to the bus. They need you.
Yeah. So, well, not only that, but then all the skill sets, so it's like, that's what I'm. Glad to be so. In the mix. It's been heavy.
Hey.
For sure.
I hear you. This is definitely a huge heavy lift, especially since one, finance wasn't involved in it until after it was wrapped up. And they're just give it to you in a little present of here, find us somebody and take care of it. How am I supposed to take care of something I don't know what it even is? That's what bums me out about the situation, and nobody on our team knows what this is. It's not a grant. It's not anything we've ever dealt with. So it's kind of one of those things where our team is trying our best to swim, but there are times where we feel like we're sinking because we don't have a road path on what does this field really mean. And I'm being real with that. It's difficult.
I apologize for the hard move.
I mean, it's not
That
your
along
fault
with
though.
running the
No, I
tribe and
mean, and it's not
finances,
anybody's
yeah,
fault
yeah.
though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just like to say transparently,
Yeah.
people sell us a dream, but they don't sell us the fine print. You know, we're living the dream right now, but the fine print is what we, in my presentation at retreats, what keeps us up at night.
Yes,
And this keeps me up at night.
yes, it does.
But we're gonna make it through, dang it.
So you guys gotta pick one, or we gotta pick one? What kind of?
Well, I had Caleb kind of like really put it down to like a score to break them down, what they do good, what they don't, what's, you know, we were gonna bring a recommendation to you, but, you know, we ultimately want you all to be on board with what you think we should go with, because you all are gonna be working alongside them just as much as we are. And, you know, I feel like it should be a team effort on what you all see would work out and not work out. Like I said, I handed this to Caleb and he spearheaded it as far as, you know, who's close, who knows what, who can spill out the language that he's speaking to them.
I was a little hesitant to boil it down to a one pager, because if I'm gonna read through this and give you the Reader's Digest version, you're now looking at it through my bias. And I was hoping for the benefit of, if we all look at it and come up with our opinions, I'm not tainting the view. If boy, I could sure use a benefit.
Definitely.
I saw on one of them, some of stuff, the different tribes to work with, I think my question would be, the background, all and stuff.
That would be Moth Adams.
It is.
Moth Adams is historically across the board, an audit firm for many, many tribes. They're kind of like REDW, you know, just a go-to, tribal entity firm, very friendly. As far as do they know and understand new market tax credits, to be real, looking at this here, on page 7. Page 7 in the Moss Adams. They broke out theirs. Not a lot of entities do that. I do enjoy seeing that because then that gives us the capability to go see if Little Shell has ever given a market tax credit. We could go through to see which tribe actually has went through it to see, you know, did they actually work through what we're working through. So with that being said, you know, I enjoy seeing that myself, but and this kind of comes down to, you know, what Caleb said as far as giving some extra information to the CLA, because they were just hitting thinking points when we really vetted them. And when I say speaking the language was being spoken with them. Not saying Mock Adams isn't great, because they're well known in the US and well-known entities and break it down. But it's just really hard for me to just put it out there, to be honest. That's kind of why we're bringing it to the table.
Something I like.
Yes.
I did not call them, but this is what I did do. We started this thing with 108 closing documents. And when these companies specifically pull out individual documents and say, what does that look like to you? Whoa, this could be interesting stuff. And there's actually 2 documents out of 108 that shed about 90% of the view on. Whoa, that guy's me. That was Cherry. Cherry said, would you please send me the QLICI agreement and the 76-page forecast? And I just about fell on the flipping shit. holy crap. It's like somebody grabbing me by the heart and saying, how's your heart beating? I love you. This guy knows his stuff. The rest of them that says, how do you spell Pollock B? You're fired. Everyone that does the Newmarket tax print has a Pollock B.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to spell it, dude, we're in the shoes of.
Cherry. That was the Cherry company.
Cherry was the one that pulled the two primary documents out of the whole deal and says, would you send me those two and I'll know exactly how you like that. Ding, ding, ding. Very, very interesting. The part about COA that caught me off guard was, number one, they did a non-disclosure agreement. Hello, these guys start with ethics. Yeah. And then I shared with them what I had, and then we had a specific question and answer about what was this number on your trial balance? And what was your deal over here with those folks? And I thought, I don't even have to explain this to them. They've got it all mapped out. They know where the pain points are, and they're going right there to start with. It's the first company, though.
Yeah, that's the one that did it.
And I'm glad to hear.
And because they wouldn't say that,
Yeah.
but also, I mean, are there multiples? I don't know.
The fact that these folks didn't just offer a bid, but they walked through and they touched the pain points and they knew all the places where all the critical information is laying. That's the part that caught my.
From Sierra.
Did you?
Yeah. So they do that with the way they're.
Studied what? For the new market tax. I don't believe they were involved with our new market tax, but I believe they know not only a few, but quite a few. And they just looked me straight in the eye and said, what about that back there? And is this the part you're having trouble with? I didn't even bring it up.
So how did you guys get working with CLA then?
Authorizer. They recommended working with CLA, they put in a recommendation and said, well, a couple of our schools worked with them, they're new, but they're in finance, starting off the schools, and it was good, like in the very beginning, once we started doing our application, we did a budget, and everything went well, they were literally responsive. Then got to operation, we kind of fell to the bottom of their priority list.
Yeah.
And so, there was a time when I would reach out to our contact and she try to call, because like trying to get our payroll situated. I was writing checks for a long time, and she's like, oh, we just need to get this done. And I tried to call her, she's like, don't call me, you know. So I was like, oh. And so they had a couple other people come on board, and it got to the point where we're like, we called her out there, I said, like, hey, we need some help here. Like, this is what's going on, blah, 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 and just we could be more priority. So we looked into for about 8 months.
Getting them really hard. There was a part where you had to even sacrifice our own checks to make sure they weren't doing their part, and they kept leaving us high and dry. And it was really.
It wasn't
it
how.
was really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't until after, we had no access to the financials. They didn't share anything. They did makeshift check stubs where she did in Excel and she put numbers in. She's like, oh, write the check for this amount and I'll just take the taxes out. She did the taxes and you write it for this amount, maybe take out all the taxes. Then they didn't report it, so it was a mess. By the time we switched over, we found out a lot of things that we weren't paying the state taxes. They had set up CRA and pay that. Most of our employees were in the system with the same birthday and social security number.
Okay, so how long did that, when did you guys cut that? Would that have been
Would have
for
been December,
24?
January, yep, 2024. Which is going south pretty quickly. And then Rochelle at that time recommended we are with now SMS. So we started that sort of transition. We let go of PLA. And then
Is it CLA LLP though? It is?
but then Marcin.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm surprised they didn't bring up, oh, we work with them. That was just in Redbait.
Yeah.
What did I say? Schmidt? What was it? Remember we looked it up? Because you wanted to Schmidt something with a Schmidt.
Oh, and I was
Forgot.
gonna say that, how can you find it, like those?
And so,
The Schmidt that you're talking about was a gentleman.
He's a lady. He's a lady. Information, whatever. Yeah, no, I just, yeah, to give you. Yeah, her last name, that's her last name. The blonde gal, yeah, there was a brown, the blonde was what I worked with. It was really good at first, then it went south. And she was like, you're a low priority. Yeah. So then we didn't find out until we brought Todd on with us and that.
What do you mean, no?
What's that?
Mr. Schmidt was the name that I didn't know what this to be.
She didn't mention that. Then we brought a brown headed gal, I forgot her name. And she was the same like. So I was like, yeah. Jeez. But then we found out after how what a mess it was. We didn't know. But I've been on, we were on her for quite a while and then, first year there was so much and then we brought authorizer in and Aaron called her up and they're like, hey, so it's not her. That's fine. We can still go option. There's still finance. Yeah, this is over. But they are a firm, they school management finance is different than firms, so for them to not bring it.
Definitely. That's very surprising on that note. Why wouldn't they even mention that they weren't introduced to relate off that? That should be.
And the charter.
Well, my mind right now.
Well, because you're talking about new market tax to support the building of the charter school. So charter school would have came up in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And for them to not disclose that.
Well, I know definitely. The big forecast document is 76 pages long, and every time I start on page 4, because it's everything in a glance. The charter school featured prominently. There's no way they could have not connected the dots. I love their nose.
That is just nuts to me. So Cherry Barker.
The way you make it sound like.
Well, I mean, the background. The background is kind of where we're at. And I guess that goes back to, we really don't know what we're getting until we really, get in there to see what we're getting. And really very difficult about making the because I'm in a different ballgame. Like right now, we're probably, I don't know, playing pickleball. I don't know. Like, that's kind of all that they use. I don't know. I just picked that random thing. I don't even know what it is, but that's how I feel about this.
That's totally there.
Yeah. Maybe tennis.
Well, no, I'm with you on this.
So don't invite me to that, Taylor.
We're gonna get through this, whatever game it is, we're gonna get through it.
So we're not asking for like a sure decision, if we wanna research further. But we are taking on audit timelines. We wanna be diligent about this as well. Maybe it is taking it a step further to look at what Moss has to offer. I'm not sure. Our Cherry. Maybe we need to start looking at the surrounding area, new market tax credit projects and digging deep on who do you utilize as well. And kind of tap into that. I can't go to eat because they're wrapped up. Schmeek, I don't know how he did it, but kudos to him for holding it down. He did what he needed to. But yeah, no, I know. So with that being said, no pressure on the information that we shared. Not like we need a decision right tonight. We're here just to share everything that we have at the table. And we want to collectively make this decision together. Because like I said, we're all going to be working with everybody. Whether it's Caleb teaching Lex teaching someone else, we're all going to internally be working this for as long as our years are up.
Oh, so we'll get over that. Vote on that accident.
I think that should be good. Yep. And I mean,
Now, we'll
If
just be
there-
suggesting it won't be in there.
yeah, yep, exactly. Like, I just, I really value, taking the time to vet it yourself as well. So no pressure.
Well, he's explained it to me maybe 5 times, and every time I still confused, because it's like a shell game. They put
It
money
is a
here,
shell
put
game.
money here, they put money there, money goes there. Yeah, it's.
Like literally, you could take up a wall and just all of these little, I don't even like a crime scene. For real. Yeah, absolutely. Not to reference that, but you know, like, I don't know, it's kind of the ins and the outs is a little bit too much. So.
So these, the representative client list here, I wanna say a lot of non-atoms, we may have dealt with housing.
New market tax credit.
Or provide tech housing.
That would make sense.
Would you please explain the difference between light tech and new market centers?
I think what people.
Which are the
There is a
other?
difference. I sent her to a training thinking new market tax credit. How much you learn?
Light tech housing is kind of like this, but they gotta do like all these other things along with it. It's difficult, but it's mainly for housing authorities to take advantage of. They, you know, a lot of the housing projects around here are all light tech housing. Yeah. I'm the big part right now.
Can I jump in on that?
Yeah, right.
She was training, she like, to be here, I was like, hopefully they talk about something new market tax credit.
Yeah, they very much place on the tax.
We learned on how to.
And I tell you, when I visited with the Red Lake housing people and their light tech experience. And forgive me, 3 moments ago, I told you there's a company in the middle of this called Provoy that's helping, so they're only foster a consultant. I asked housing how we work through all of the contract deliverables, and they said, well, we don't. Provoy does it, please. I said, well, we totally do it.
So do y'all pay the contract for that? Yep. You pay a contract for that?
And they love Jane. I wonder if
Yeah.
they take her to steak dinner every year.
There's a price tag to Provoy. Yeah,
So then why wouldn't they pick it up then?
well, I'm not impressed with Provoy's help.
Yeah, what did I say? My privacy.
Carol,
Yeah.
saying that I can't remember certain things, but how did that show up?
I wish to learn as much as you forgot. Early on in this, when we talked about Moss, and their price tag was about 100,000, right, give or take. And you asked me, what's the building schedule? And forgive me if I didn't tell you the answer to that. It's not a total of 100. Their plan is that's the ceiling. And they're just gonna charge us by the call based on what we need. And my example with the crew here was if we needed 2 hours, that's all they charge. And that's all. You know,
I like that.
I was just trying to what you asked me.
Yeah, because I am, if you're wondering about how we're gonna pay for this, of course, we're gonna use the 310 service account to make sure it goes out of that, because that's the only operating that we have currently. But not only that,
Is that the 305 sub account?
Yeah.
Okay. Third party or third party, you bring in to a sub account. Our third party, is that they consider tough? Would that make sense? We're a site. Yep, we're a site for mental health and behavioral health. And that's how we go partner with I. No, it's just the services. Yeah, I know, but.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
You're a smart cookie.
Marketing.
Usually when you start throwing excessive numbers around, people go, not you. Now, you pulled my feet to the fire and said, was it 310 or was it 305? And which car is it coming from?
I know,
See?
that's what
See?
I'm saying, I cannot recall what the numbers are. It's like, I've been working with, well, not both rehab, crime victims budget. I feel like that was an 810 recently, and that's why it shines on my mind right now, but. A lot of budgets, a lot of numbers. I try to memorize, but I don't do that there. So, but it is that service or something, is what we were thinking. just to ensure, you know, that it gets paid, taken care of, all that kind of stuff. But also, another piece of what I was thinking is our budget, IDC would absorb too, because it has to do with audits and such like that, and normally IDC, yeah, normal, yeah. So as far as payments for it, I just want everybody here not to frazzle on that piece of it. We need to really focus in on what are the deliverables. Because we got to make sure it goes according.
Start up how many hours are you?
I love this suggestion. Because, well, let me tell you what we've already done. With Novogradac, we did as much back and forth as we could, so there wasn't a conflict of interest. They can't hold our hand to the finish line and then go back and see how well we do. Okay, that's not good. But they held our hand as far as we could. And I gave them a spreadsheet and it said, we need to account for these dollars. And half of them, through the documents that Nate referred to, I could see clean. It came from this person to that person, those bank accounts. This is what it was for, easy. The other half, there was no clarity. And it's, and in my guesstimation, based on that cheat sheet that Novogradac gave us, we need clarity on half of these transactions just to get us through the number portion. But on the other hand, I do believe you and I are holding on to a few other things we need help with. Not just getting the numbers in place, we need to get our bank accounts cleaned up. On my bank account record, he says, what the heck do I do with this? I said, I don't know, but I'll find out. And if you got some IRS stuff to add to the mix, let's find it. And I'm gonna leave it. A little breadcrumbs for Hansel and Gretel next time around, I'll tell you.
That blows my mind on the taxes and such. Or the mishap of, like, with the issue of the 1099, people, you know, all that type of stuff, like any type of tax. Yeah.
No, they have some of everything that first year. I haven't seen anything from probably recently.
Well, IRS can, you know,
It's
Definitely,
different,
yeah.
yeah, it's different.
okay.
It used to be Endazhi-Nitaawiging quality. And then it got mixed up, and so, and they thought it was a mix up between charter and the quality. List. And I remember we had to get on the phone with IRS. Was that you? Wait, was that you? So, okay, so there was a confusion because they thought quality was Endazhi-Nitaawiging, no, that was plumber. We had to get on the phone with IRS, have a nice big meeting. Oh, he was a rock one too. And then distinguish that no, Endazhi charter is its own nonprofit, quality is its own nonprofit. And we're separate, so quality does have to do taxes, and then we have to do our taxes. But we're separate because it's kind of Endazhi-Nitaawiging, both of them. But we were separate, so they all can have a nice long IRS.
And if you're not confused at the end of that conversation, you have been listening.
That's just one little piece of all of it.
That's just one little
Yeah.
piece and it's very real. And I tell you,
Yeah.
unless you have a different tax ID, you can't tell them apart.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Okay, so we just need to look over these in person, by next meeting, or go here.
That would be a good call.
I
Yeah.
don't, I would like to, kind of pull in from the person in the room that is the most educated person and does the most, background information on this. 'Cause I don't feel that like reading these three summarizations is gonna give me enough information to make a solid choice. So I appreciate everybody being, without, I don't want to influence your decision, but at the same time, like, if you're like deep into it and we're just kind of like here, like, I've never seen this information before, I don't feel, like I would get enough or understand enough information from this.
I appreciate your candor. I think that's a real honest shot.
I need another, like, cause I would need to like another board meeting because it's stuff on meetings and, cause I like reading words in the morning. Reading words is nice, but like big picture, And me and my have some picture. You know, if it is a whole lot, my mind and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel about this every single time.
You know?
Mhm. Especially since the book, like I said, we're in and out of many books.
Yeah.
Y'all are in Deerwood Bank. You know, we're in First National. You guys have US Bank, you know, and we're kind of just, we're all over the place right now, and we're all not in one central like I wish we were. But, you know,
That's really fun to me and Mason. What you get? One. For me,
yeah, yes. So, I mean, maybe me and Caleb and Lex can go to the table to see if we can draw from Travoy to bring a special presentation this way to kind of better break it down too, maybe. If
Will
we
you
can.
forgive me for speaking to that?
Yeah, I know you probably have something.
Because unfortunately, I have been poking at this thing since the 31st of March, which is when we had to submit our tentative taxes for this thing. And it's been just. And at one point I visited with this firm and that one, and Travoy got on the phone with me for an hour and a half one time. And we beat up on it, and his go-to phrase is always, all the numbers are here. And that's that's the phrase that they always say, all the numbers are here, and I'm saying, I agree, where? And you can't show them. I'm afraid I've already queried Travoy as hard as we can, and I think we're coming up dry. We're a dry well. That 76-page forecast document, one of the two Bible documents of this whole thing, the 76 pages. They would frequently go back to it, and yes, the numbers are there, but the clarity, the insight into what that dollar amount needs to be and how it needs to go through our books, so it'll pass an audit query, it's not there. Humble opinion.
I want to speak for the spirit, not people and seeking. There's one down. Yeah.
I am
How did it
impressed.
pass the first year on?
We didn't. This
I thought you
is,
said we did do the
This-
first year, we're to go to the second year.
yes, I'm sorry. This is the first year. This is,
Last year we didn't have it.
this is how she ran time. This thing started in August 2023. And the end of that year was April 30th, 2024. And at that point, yes. And at that point, we're approximately 7 months into this thing. And it accounted for, remember, we needed $3 million to top off this school. $70 million into the bank account on closing date. Are you listening? We needed $70.8 million into the bank account. And I said, Caleb, it was for a charter school. You got this? I said, hell no. I got $3 million I needed. Where the heck did you come up with all the other 70? And you can put that in your books. And I said, no. You want to tell me how it's supposed to get through and where it's supposed to be clean? So an honest auditor can look at this. Oh, it's all in the thing. Yeah, it's in the thing. But there's no clarity. Stupid.
Why are we cleaning 70 million?
That's the way it smells, right off the bat. And you watch it, 8 million going from this bank to that bank to that bank to that bank to that bank on one day. And he said, have you ever heard of money laundering? Ah,
Seen a couple of those.
yeah.
This is like rich people money laundering with taxes.
I was like,
That's where you guys are.
It's a recipe.
You can smell it a mile away. You can,
Basically.
you can smell it a mile away, but the fact remains, I have trouble accounting for that much money going to the same place, same dollar amount, being called 5 different things. I say, it's not clear to me, and I need it to be clear. Because when you and I get done playing this game with quality, we're gonna have to do it for the tribe, and it better pass muster both ways right now. And it hasn't passed muster, that's my open.
You ever think the bank and stuff that these places that go through are involved in what they're gonna have them look at? Then
I do believe they are.
Take your glasses off.
That's why you're up all night. You need to put your glasses on.
Yeah. Will you say that again, Kate, because I understood.
Like, either of those places we're looking at to hire help with the audit are involved with the banks that they are gonna be looking,
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. In fact, when I went to the conference that she went to this year, I went to it last year. And in the last conference room, up on the podium is a bunch of bank presidents and lawyers that built these things. And they're happy to say, well, we've done this for years and nobody's ever failed. And I thought, well, I'm gonna be the first.
No. We're not, but
That's just a joke. Honestly, the way to fail this thing is for us to flat out dishonestly hide money, squander it, spend it in the wrong place. Okay, now we're gonna get it. But in the meantime, we're still stuck holding the bag. Where did all this money go? How do you claim everybody account for it? Can't see. That part of the smoke and mirrors I can't see.
Joe read everything? As far as I know,
Joe Farley?
I would hope that they read everything. How many pages?
Is that a real question?
What do you mean, what do you think, what do you? They would have to, because it sounds like to me, what I'm hearing is that there's a bunch of money we don't know and can account for it. That's why they're bringing in a firm to help us find out where that money is and where it's going. Because essentially, if we got the money, we use our market tax, we should be getting that money. But it sounds like we want to know where all of half of it is. So that we can bring it back and then have a clean audit, or
Sounds like the money, I don't want to change it.
what's on?
Let me tell you that as we pay 11,000 a month for rent and lease, on a quarterly basis, 30,000 comes back from the interest investment that we're trying to make. So roughly, we're making $30,000 quarterly out, 30,000 coming back. Now that's interesting. It's almost a self-sustaining design. In one little pocket of this thing, it's taking care of itself. Yeah. There's another bank account where we started with $432,000 and it is slowly pulling from that in our quarterly payments out. And at the end of that thing, we should have approximately $7,000 left in it. Nice design. Like a bunch of adults playing in the sand. It's pretty. That's true. But that still doesn't account for when that dollar goes through there 5 different times. The first time it's called interest, then it's called rent, and then what do you call it the rest of the times, and how do I get that right down here, cost of living system? Hey, you need to code it. You don't know when you code it wrong, someone gets all frustrated and you gotta fix it. Well, I don't want to code it wrong to begin with. And if I don't have a fighting chance, well, someone give me a fighting chance. And if I sidestep, and there's your plan. You know, there's roughly 108 closing documents, and most of them account for. I mentioned a company called Civic that oversees all of this, and we can see when their business was set up, okay, and the state recognizes it, okay, when their bylaws, who cares, right? And that accounts for probably 70% of those 108 closing documents. A bunch of companies involved and where they came from, good. The other ones are incredibly carefully designed of the forecast and projections of this whole thing. Nice. That's only the 108. By the way, there's about 112 by now because when we finally got a certificate of occupancy for this building, I put it in there because that closing documents and that critical contract docs, I consider to be something I don't want to ever lose. That's pile number one. Pile number two is all of the subcontractors involved with a general contractor called Norsom that built the building. There's another 70 files right there of just the contractors that built this place. Okay, first one is contract law, second one is subcontractors, the third one is when I was first wrestling with this quality on it. When I visited Joe and he gave me a delicious pile of individual documents. So he might not be like that. And scare the smell out of it all. And then I tried to make sense of it. And I found a bunch of resolutions. Yay, resolutions. When did the land get reserved? Who were the people that came in and did soil sampling? Who was the architects that built it? Fine. and all of the other pieces and team players and all the finances that came together when it came to Joe's attention, he said, yes, let's go. Money goes here to close out, prep, money goes here, agreements go there. We've got about 7 lawyers involved, legal entities. We've got a bunch of consultants involved. And all the stuff gets built, and we'll see all these notes that Joe pulled together, 70 individual documents, multiple pages each. But that, in my observation, are the contract documents that are the vitals of this system, just how this thing got started. How many documents are there? Oh, I just take a stab at about 700. Yeah, when we finally found them, Arta says, put them on the thumb drive, put them in the firebox. You don't ever want to lose it. I said, I get it. We lose these docs for the pick. That's just the beginning.
As far as like that 80 million goes and the whole we got it account for it type situation, that's good. Shelby.
It's all accounted for, but it's moving around. We just want to know where it's half of it moving to properly. But it's all accounted for. They built it up, accounted for, it's moving. But we want to hire a firm just to see where half of it. We don't know what that happened.
For each transaction, how do I account for each transaction? In plain. And if you call 10 different transactions and cash transactions, that's like might be.
Well, and then the same thing when he's like talking about the money and the transfers of, so we take out the 11,000 to the US account, like we do memos and follow this whole procedure every single month to make sure that's made.
Yeah.
We need to go back to, once it goes into those accounts, then where does all of that fluff go? That's what we need to.
I don't have access to. Yeah.
Basically, like we should be following that dollar, but we lose that dollar because we.
So I would like her to do it on check. That's my question. So, okay. I've never seen. But they said they just sort of like Paul and the whole crew. What's her name?
Marguerite.
Yep. Yep. You're just like, no, with you. We'll never sign it.
The first one after this audit, I went back to all to Lloyd and I said, you don't have receipts for the original transactions. Nope. Some to different law firms. You guys haven't have receipts for this. No. Went back to Nova Braddock. Remember the firm that's going to audit us and you guys haven't have receipts for these things. Invoices, anything. Don't have them. That's when I get to this. He said, I've got a 20-page document. It shows the flow of funds on closing day, and your key people, Bill Seeky, Mike Kelly, Philip, Trevor, they all signed it. That document serves as both invoice, payment, and everything. All of our targets and all of our actuals are signed and made it like it's supposed to be. So this is good. And none of the other invoices exist to build this thing. Oh, it's terrifying. So it sounds to me in a legal case, they've been tampering with the evidence or they don't care about the evidence. Just go by with everybody was smiling and nodding and saying, just keep doing this. You do this. Hey.
That's not Trevor.
Trevor. No regret. Our forecast people that built the whole thing. They got no influences. Which means they shot so carelessly from the hip to begin with that they have room to wiggle and lose, and they still made money, right? I need the job done for $5,000. Let's charge $10,000 because even if we lose two, we're still fine. Oh my gosh. Everything is a hip shot with this whole goddamn thing. That sticks to me.
It's a little bit hard to hear. Can you clarify if you're talking about the school doing some of those things?
So was that question pointed to me or?
Yeah.
I just the folks who are sitting farther from the microphone, I'm having trouble hearing some of it. So I just wasn't sure if you were describing things that had happened at the school or if you were giving a different example.
Those dollar amounts that I just spoke of. Those dollar amounts are the original dollar amounts used to build the total new market tax credit agreement. What's it gonna take legally? What's it gonna take by way of consultation and construction? They're all very, very general numbers. And those are all targets and actuals are the same thing. We don't have invoices. Sorry for not making sure I could be heard. How am I coming in now?
It's a little better, thank you.
You bet.
So I added the school, the charter school is the tribes building. So it's tribal funding, tribal transaction.
Thanks.
I think we're just here to collectively work together to pinpoint a firm that we're gonna entrust to hold our hand through the rental of this beautiful property. That's what we're doing right now. Because that's basically our big next. Um. New market.
Another concern that I have too is that like we're working with people who understand how to funnel money because they've been doing it for generations with millions upon millions of dollars. Are we looking at firms that are like in the elementary stage when, you know, they're gonna be able to understand and, you know, oh, it's all there, it's all there, it's all there. Understand those levels, because I mean, we don't want to go with like the most economical decision if it's not
At that
gonna
level.
benefit us. Yeah.
Yeah,
if
they
they
got a
can't
national
handle
level.
it.
I feel like Moss Adams, to be real, would be one of the stronger suits as far as national goes. Mostly because I don't know if you guys are aware of NAFOA and what NAFOA does, but there's an entity out there called NAFOA. And they actually market new market tax credits as well. But they work with Moss Adams and they work with Moss Adams a lot to host conferences on different type of topics like this. And so they're actually hosting a conference next week out in Portland, Napoleon. That'll be updates of new GASB updates, new financial updates, new market tax credits, just a various, it's Native American Finance Officers Association, NAFOA. Definitely recommend looking at that website because you'll see Moss all over that and what they do.
Yes. If you're a member of NAFOA, it's advantageous. I understand red light district.
We are.
And I spoke with NAFOA, and I said, we're having a situation, can you give us any recommendations? And they said, yeah, Nova Gradic and Favor. I said, oh my.
What they say?
That's what they say is Nova Gadic or Troy. Trevor.
My pain points,
Oh.
yes. I said, do you have any other ideas? No. Well, thanks.
National.
NAFOA. You are a part of them as well, but I feel like they come with a lot of different resources as far as, you know, financial for tribes, financial for not just our programming, but you know, a lot of policy advocacy, a lot of they help with contingency planning. There's just a lot of web-based, but then also in-person type opportunities that they offer that's pretty helpful. I have yet to make it to one of the conferences. always attempt to, but we always, our office is on fire constantly, so don't really need support unless I'm expected to be on one of the boards. So with that being said. I was just like, keep thinking about, you know, being fed the promises of deliverables and not having anything delivered and just having to sit back to, you know, what do we do? A little bit frustrated. But it sounds like she'd be doing way more. Pretty much. But also it's like, how do you do that? Like, does that go back to looking at the documents to be like, who does the, yeah. So maybe that's where we probably go a little bit, so we can find this thing. I'm not. But
By the way, I mentioned Civic is overseeing this whole thing, and Travoy is supposed to be a easy reference for consultations. And as I went through preparing the deliverables and I saw discrepancies between Civic and Travoy deferred to Civic. Because, you know, it was way too big for me to stomach. So I said, okay, guys, give me your advice. Where do I need to find the important parts? And then what are the less important parts? And then when do I get to the low priorities of the end? I looked for Travoy and Civic to help us with that to begin. Guide me through all these bank accounts and which ones do I need to pay attention to? Thankfully, there's only 5 I really have to pay attention to. The other ones I need to know of and get through the line. But I'd love to have another set of eyes, but the same road that you folks are talking about going through to try to find, sift out and lift out. I'm not seeing it in our current new market table. Civic, Novigrad, Travoy, Queen, I'm not seeing it. I'm afraid that's why we're here.
not,
I don't think that exists.
never mind, it's our.
I'm just kidding. Can we ever take a break or like we can move on to the rest of our agenda?
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you guys. Caleb, thank you for having me. There's.
I'm just, maybe we should do it. That feels a little tempting. And the colorful one does look really nice. It even has resignation on every page.
It really does. They
I
want.
feel like that's.
Wait, we made a decision.
Just to get.
Caleb's like, he's ready for
Let's
the
go.
engagement, like right now.
Hey Vicky, is it okay if we take a 5-minute break?
Yeah. Me good for now, Lexi, Caleb. Sorry I wasn't able to make it in person, but I'm listening and hearing and but yeah, we're gonna adjourn for 10 minutes.
Recess.
Yes, our recess. Adjourn. My bad. Okay.
You're like, you're dismissed.
Yeah, you're dismissed. You can go. No, just kidding.
Be
All right.
good.
Yeah.
You
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Hope you feel better. Yeah, guys.
It's kind of little stuff.
Everybody.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I just got over it.
Thank you guys. You guys, catch up soon.
Well, yeah. There was only one that actually identified what their services are, so I was confused by that. These aren't really proposals, they're just,
I was just gonna say, it's just kind of showing them what they
yeah.
action.
What,
It's scary for me, that a lot of these people, they don't know a lot of the people that are on salaries and people follow it. And I think that's what happened in this, you know.
Surprised.
And
And that would be the contact person. Contact person would be the Kristen Schmidt. Oh, sorry, I've circled them. So if I'm over here looking like I'm some kind of teacher, it's just I'm trying to understand it. Like pulling pieces what I need. I feel like I'm a great note taker. Kristen Schmidt and Matissa Kubani. But I don't even know if this one is still valid because they signed it on the 18th and they wanted to start on the 27th. So this one might need an update.
It'll be interesting. Those final,
Oh,
right?
I think that's why they're reaching out to help, because it's sad, that's. A lot of them involved in it.
Well, it's on the limit, they're also for the trouble and city plans. You can sign it up, yeah. But I don't know about it, Judge.
And then on this one, it says who will be responsible for services and CRL only number of consultants provided is 2. But then they have a provision in here that they will at times use subcontract. It doesn't say when or how we will be contacting to be notified. Like, you know.
Thank you, Anne Marie, for hanging out.
Yeah, I think, too.
I can only kind of hear quiet, like it's a little hard to hear, but caught my name, that part it was easy.
Just thanking you for hanging in there.
Yeah.
I will probably have to go around 7:20, just because I was stepping in for Ashley. I already had some childcare things to do this evening, but I appreciate getting to be here for as much as I have. This is my first Endazhi board meeting, so it's good to be with you all. Thanks for having me.
Miigwech. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your attendance. Sorry, I'm trying not to cough. Miigwech.
Okay, I was gonna be like, are you selling that mirror?
No, I just thought that single one. And I was. He came down to us today.
Nice.
Well, I have to go through. My kids are also home alone. You know, bedtime before you.
Try to figure it out. That's the thing.
1.5? It's, I'll eat a pop.
Oh, Victoria, well, Vicky, give you a 2-minute timer up.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Got my time. The trash from my room, so.
Yeah.
I think we should set a special meeting every time we put match.
Okay, how far are we on the agenda?
Not very far.
Not very far.
Okay,
We're still on 7, right? We're still on number 7. I did talk about A and B. In that work week, yeah.
would you,
You still live there.
Very strong. They have what's in them? What's in them? Oh. Keep living.
Oh, the hide, you guys got a hide?
Want to give that a high, or need it to that.
Oh,
Left it outside, so you can put it in the freezer. So.
No, we had the innovation, you start on, getting it up.
Yeah, and usually because
So I
otherwise it
wouldn't
can start
incorporate.
rotting. Not a lot of meat on there, so it's on the inside. Or.
No, L.
Okay.
Why do you call them?
Yeah, walking things.
Oh, it's the one doing.
I'm not sure what she has planned. She said it would work on me. Okay, I think that all is in an outcome, but I don't like to. No, it's like. It's got nothing to do with it.
I know, right?
So are you ready? Are we ready to
Yep.
convene?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, reconvening at 7:16 PM.
My report?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make it speedy. Do the executive director report. So welcome, good to see everybody again. So our enrollment numbers are kindergarten, 8 students. First grade, 12 students. Second grade, 14 students. Third grade, 14 students. Fourth grade, 17 students. Fifth grade, 10 students. Sixth grade, 12 students. Seventh and eighth, the combined class has 10 students. So a total of 97 students. And we still have students coming in to apply, so it's kind of been a consistent thing here. Our classes, we have students still enrolling. So our enrollment will remain open until our classes are full. I attended a tribal council meeting to give a report on everything that where we're at and what we did, what's going on with the school. We're working with our tribal project team on starting the STEM room for completion and putting in a washer and dryer. So the Norson, the company that helped our school get built was Norson. They came and they asked what's all missing, what's not working. Like our roof, we've been having an issue with our roof that it's never been done right. It's been done 3 times. So they said they're going to take that on and different things, and then also some issues in our STEM room. So also we're starting in collaboration with neighboring communities for culture exchange. Building a schedule for funding opportunities through speaking engagements. There's a group that donated for us to get a pontoon, and I believe it's out of Leech Lake, and he came up. The guy who was part of the funding, he wanted us to come down there and talk in Leech Lake. So Sylvia and I will be going down to Leech Lake in November to talk, to represent the school, because they really like what Red Lake has done as far as getting a charter school started. And we'll tell them all the ins and outs that we know. But other than that, that's all I have for my report. Questions, comments, concerns? All right, moving on.
Me, what's
I'll just go quickly, again, just recapping, annual report due November 1st, so we're working on that. Rochelle and Jola they're working on that, collecting the data, making sure everything's updated. So we'll have that ready. The goal is to present in our next month's meeting, October regular meeting for approval, so that we can get that to authorizer by November 1st. We're still planning the October grand opening or ribbon cutting for our play yard outside. So once we get that date, we'll let you guys know. I have a meeting with them this week. Again, we started NWA testing this week. We were approved for lease aid 55,044.75. So that'll be coming in for last year, and then this year we'll be applying also. So that we'll see next year. So that should be around 120, 130 for next year's budget. Yeah, Rochelle was working really hard and with Tom over at facilities and got everything together, and so she made that happen. So very, very lucky. She's been working very hard.
They say it's like when you pay rent, it just comes back, right?
Yep, so the lease aid, this isn't, the charter schools can't own buildings, we have to lease. But in that, we get a percentage back from state we can put in for, it's called lease aid. So we get, I think, Addie might be able to correct me, is it 90% back in lease aid? From what we pay rent.
Let me check.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to double check the lease aid.
Okay, yeah, so we get that, we pay the rent, but then we can apply for lease aid, but we'll get that back. So we pay, initially we have going to a lease with the tribe, Because it's their building, we set an amount based on the state, proportions, and then we can apply for, I think, show like the correct, I think it's 90%, and we can get that.
Yeah, it's either 90% or a cost per student, whichever one is a less amount is what the state pays you.
Yeah, I think it's a 90%, yeah. So that's huge. We had a field trip to the wild rice beds. Kids loved it. Just a great experience, and we're hoping to do some here, the processing. We are taking sports derby. No, wild rice. Yeah. Donovan got a deer in the opening, which was just a few days ago, so he's processing some with his class. 4 through 8, we'll be going to Old Tree Crossing event October 1st. So that's exciting. Their very first event they're doing. And then. Yes, yeah, October 4th, first weekday. Yeah, that was one of the things we really wanted. Everybody's off on that day due to the holiday, so we did a full planning, the planning team, like doing weekdays and having the biggest trip. I think Bob Shimmick said he's got about 200 youth coming out. And then I went over my performance and compliance update on the Osprey Wiles checklist, making sure we're working towards getting everything on time based on a discrepancy letter, and they mapped out a whole timeline and task due, so we've been on time with that. Area reporting, we focused a lot on the past due, so I need to really focus on making sure I get everything on time going forward. Still working on getting everything in on time. Talk about NWEA results for last year, MCA results. Also for last year, we're getting those documents out to our students and parents. We also have that on hand for teachers. Both of our scores are showing definitely needs improvement, so we passed that around. I also presented at the APAC meeting on those scores, keeping parents involved and updated. Got a lot of work to do to increase our scores across the board, so we're working on academics and then our mission related goals. Making sure we capture that data. So huge on capturing data, making sure we start working towards increasing our student scores. You. Me?
Okay, well, we held our APAC meeting on 9/11. The meeting was called to order at 5:54. The ones that were present were Bianca, myself, Dan, Sylvia, Jessica, and Nick. The previous minutes were approved. There was no old business to cover. Sylvia talked about the review of the NWEA results for 2024-2025. We also reviewed the MCA results for 2024-2025. And then she reviewed the 2025-2026 state English as written. And we also found out the new hires, which were George years out. And Donovan. Sylvia gave us the head of the school report. There was open discussion. She talked about yesterday, what could be activity. And then the old crossing trip on October 3rd, and we adjourned the meeting at 6:23. And it was just a lovely time. You're welcome.
Me with Johnny.
Can we go on to new business, Vicky?
Yes.
All right, new business. A motion to approve the working board minutes of July 16th, 2025.
Do you have a motion?
The motion and to make the correction.
I second.
Who was that?
Bianca and Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we wanna, request to table this, because we don't have it in the packet. So we will table to next board meeting in October.
Okay. Mm. And what are we tabling right now? Sorry.
The working board minutes for July.
Because it's not in the packet.
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to table the working board minutes for July 16, 2025?
I'll make the motion.
1 second.
Is that Nicomas that motioned?
Yeah.
Second, sorry. So all in favor of tabling the working board minutes for 7/16/25 until the October 2025 regular board meeting?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passed for tabling the working board minutes for 7/16/25 to October 25.
How come that wasn't?
Motion passed.
So, new business B, motion to approve the working board minutes of August 22nd. August 2025.
I'll make a motion.
No, don't open it in your face.
Oh, only
So,
Need the motion?
Can't get it.
So we did the motion, Nokomis,
Yep.
and the second,
I'll second.
all in favor of approving the board minutes for August,
I just
working
want to make
board
sure that my
minutes?
name's correct.
What's that?
And
Requesting to amend the minutes with the name correction.
Oh, right. So,
But not the working board.
and corrections for name change. Okay. Do you have a motion to amend the corrections for name change for Bianca Mendoza?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed to amend correction for name change for Bianca for the working board minutes of August 22nd, 2025.
Okay, so new business C, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 22nd, 2025.
Yeah.
That's the one that needs the amendment for the name change, right?
Just the working board, it looks like the regular board meeting from August 22nd is okay.
Okay.
It's corrected. Or did you see any mistakes?
I'll motion.
Okay, thanks, Leslie.
I'll second.
Any questions, anything, any questions, comments, anything? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed to approve regular board minutes.
Chowing puppies. Chowing.
Are you showing puppies?
Yeah, like just like
What?
last night, like when Danny got born. Are they sent security cameras?
New business D, motion to approve the finance report as presented.
Say bonjour.
All motion.
Look, they're looking at me.
Lovely.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, new business E, motion to approve the amended Osprey Wild contract as presented.
Like that.
Is that it?
All motion.
Is it this one? No. The one we.
Leslie, motion to approve it? Leslie?
What's that? Oh, as needed by the. Osprey.
Yes.
She.
Say-
Leslie, did you make the motion?
Yeah.
I'll second. So the highlighted portion is the proposed amendment, and it's in 1.1 and 1.2. So it talks about the Ojibwe language, how we're modifying it from the original measurement of proficiency by grade level to our core values. And that's based on Ojibwe language in the rubric. And then 1.2 is our wellness, from the wellness wheel to the different identified social, emotional, spiritual, and that measurement we talked about in the working session. So that would be done.
Was that an section that was needed by somebody? Then you had to make the necessary.
No, that's the bylaws we talked about. So this one, it was hard for us to capture data. And because Ojibwe language is just so complex, and our original thought when we went into our contract with Osprey Wilds was we are going to create these speakers. In doing that, we were going to measure by grade and growth. So we weren't able to do that. We did attempt a few times with Bookwadge, our curriculum developer, and some of our proficient speakers. It just became too complex to capture language growth per grade as it was stated in our contract. So this amendment, because we weren't able to capture data and we didn't develop the rubric to measure that went across the board, what we did is we visited with Osprey Wilds last year, a representative program officer, I'm not sure what we call contacts, Emily at that time, who is now Erin. But we had come up with a way where we are capturing that data, but it's applicable to what we're doing here at the school. So our students are growing in the language, but each grade is different. What they are not, what they are growing in altogether is the core values and the expectation. So we built out a rubric that shows how we can measure that language growth for now, as of last year into this year. We do want to modify it as we grow for each grade, but so that we can capture and be in compliance with our contract, we do have to amend it to make sure that applies to what we're measuring here. And then same with our wellness. We didn't implement a wellness wheel like in our contract. We initially wrote in our contract that we were going to measure our wellness bill, and it was modeled off of NISN, our partners. We didn't implement that, but what we did do in social, emotional, spiritual, and wellness growth was provide all the programming, like horse therapy, our open and closing ceremony, our cultural. We have sessions with I am. So there's other ways we met wellness. We just couldn't capture that data, and it wasn't in our contract to report on the way we were capturing it. So this will allow us to continue to do the work we do and the healing we do with our kids, but be able to capture that data now by amending the contract. It will align with what we're doing, and we can measure it, and we'll still be in compliance. That's what they're.
But does it say when they will be measured, like the beginning of the school year, mid-school year, end of school year?
Not in there, but if we will do our pre and post.
Do I have a motion?
Actually, pardon me, I was still here off camera, obviously, because I have a child here too, but I'm glad I stayed and caught you. One thing to note is that amendment I sent you had the revision to Exhibit G, the academic goals. I think you should still approve that revision tonight. I also saw that Erin emailed a couple last week about revisions that are needed for the bylaws. And so I might actually suggest that you approve the revisions to Exhibit G right now. That's the first step for the contract amendment. But don't actually approve the contract amendment until the bylaws are revised, so that we only have to amend the contract once later on, like next month or in November, whenever the bylaws revision is completed.
So we have on the agenda, Addie, are the bylaws, the revisions, they're in that. And then G, that's the summary indicator points, right?
Yes.
That's the one I showed them with the amendments. So they have
Okay, got it. So there are, I know on September 10th, Erin said there were still revisions needed, so I didn't know if that was already captured. Sorry, I don't have the agenda, but if you've got the revisions to the bylaws and the Exhibit G, then please continue as planned.
You want to show this? I'm just gonna have Nokomis put it up to make sure that's the right.
Those look, oh yeah, sorry. That page looks good. I think that version of Exhibit G should be fine, that document. It would be the bylaws piece that I can just check. I mean, maybe if you have the date of last revision on that would be the piece to check.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you just tell me if there's a date on when it was done?
We're doing that today.
That's today.
The amendment?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what I'm saying is we'll still do a contract amendment, but we should make sure the bylaws revision is also included.
So we'll do both today, and then you want them submitted together?
Yes, and I just wanted to check that whatever you're approving for the bylaws has been revised since last week. Because Erin sent out additional revisions on September 10th. So I just wanted to make sure that part got captured.
Yeah, we took, we were in correspondence with Erin, and we took and changed her recommendation based on, so there's 5 different sections, well, 4 she recommended by statute through Osprey Wilds.
Okay.
And so, for example, section 4, article 4, section 2, only chief administrator may serve as ex officio.
Okay, perfect.
So all of those from Erin.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry I complicated that, but it was just to make sure you didn't have to do the contract amendment this month and next month. So
perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for getting all of that done. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
So are we looking for a motion to approve the amendment of the contract, including the bylaws revisioned? Is that what we're doing?
Bylaws, the next section. This would be
Okay. So this would be the contract with
we
Osprey
did
Wild,
do it,
right?
if you guys wanted to go F first, and if there's that.
Oh, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
So we could put this one first.
Yeah, so maybe
table that, since it's a motion, and just go back to it, table it till after that. That makes so much sense, because that's completed prior to that
Yeah.
contract.
I would say that. So we'll just table E until F is voted on. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So we still have to vote.
You'll still have to.
We have to have,
So
we
we go
have
through
to have a
F.
motion.
So as soon as you vote on F, come back and vote on.
So do I just start reading it? I think we all have to agree that that's what we're doing. And to make the motion to see the following bylaws and the business following, no. And the commission. So. We're all I think so.
Okay, I'll go into discussion. So numbers 1 through 4 of the bylaws, they were recommended only because statute changed. That we make those revisions per our authorizer, Osprey Wilds, as Addie said. And so in the bylaws, which I have a copy of, I made some notes if you all wanted to take a look at what the changes. It's very minimal, just a lot of the verbiage. And then on number 4 is making sure the statute number is correct. And that was the change there. Number 2, the number of times a director can be elected as an officer is 3 during the course of that director's time, but such re-election requires board resolution. So we just had to be more clear in the way we worded that. So we made that change and added 3. I think previously in the bylaws it said unlimited. And so by statute, you have to have a number. So that just means the duration of the term, which is 3 years, a board member can serve as officer each year as long as they're elected every year. So it's the same. We just had to put the number 3 there. And then correct statute. And then 5 is to amend her last board meeting that from 9 to 5, non-related. So, and so those are the 5 changes.
Ridiculous. Yeah. It's crazy all the Sorry, I'm just like I'm baffled. I'm like trying to keep up here and I'm like
That's the state for you though.
I know I'm just falling behind. My brain is like
I know it's
I've been battling a
overstimulated right
migraine
now.
and I'm like trying to work through it and it's just like
Yeah.
We did get input for number 5, 10 teachers out of 12 agreed to change to a 5-member board.
Yeah.
So who did the motion for F and the second motion? I didn't catch that part.
So we in the comment.
Okay.
There was motion by Nicole, second by me.
Okay.
So do we need to do the motion for the bylaws, right? The changes?
Just the voting now. All those in favor.
Okay, all those in favor to change or the statute changes within the bylaws? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Following
Aye.
bylaw revision.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor say aye, aye, aye. Sorry. My stomach is starting to bother me right. So
Yeah, back to
so my motion passed to change the bylaws and statutes.
And now we jump back to E, right?
Motion passed. So that was F?
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to E, which was tabling. Chelsea, you're gonna have to help me with that one because I don't have my notes are all messed up now, so go ahead.
Motion to approve the amended Osprey Wild contract as presented.
I motion.
Second.
Should that be with these revisions in the bylaw? Is that what she's requesting? We could change that.
Oh, she did, yeah, just so we won't have to go back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should.
Okay.
So motion to approve the
So motion. Oh, sorry. Go
the
ahead.
amended Osprey Wild contract
To include
to
bylaw revisions.
include bylaw revisions.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Oops. Motion passed.
Right, motion to approve the revised 2025-26 student handbook as presented.
I'll motion.
Where the?
Changes in it.
Oh, that one.
What was the email Rachel I sent it out?
It's pretty much the same thing as last week, something like.
All the changes are in the front, and then they asked us where they are in the.
Did we get a second motion?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll second.
I almost throw a check. So discussion is we added our behavior intervention on page 26, and then like Bianca said, the asterisk pieces are changes through the bylaws, and then double are required by policy. Yeah, by policy. And then our staff update for the year. No, that was right. Part of it. No, yeah, but can still might update too. Because we went over the line. It was in July, so yep, that would have been updated. Yep.
So I keep going down there.
No.
Done.
Wait,
So all in favor?
this is student parent. No, that would be employee. No, this is students.
Oh, we're still looking at, okay, sorry.
Oh, we're good. You're in the wrong one, but.
Who is that? Oh, is that your teacher? Hey, bonjour. Yep, they're looking at you. Say bonjour. Yeah.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Wait a second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you, Chelsea, for walking through, helping me walk through this. Okay.
Okay. H here, motion to waive the Pledge of Allegiance requirement as allowed in MN statute 121.11 subdivision 3A.
All right. Who is the first and second?
Nicole.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a copy we put in, it just, local school boards or charter school board directors may annually by majority vote waive the requirement. We've waived it every year so far that our students aren't required to, announce the Pledge of Allegiance daily. But we do that, so we're requesting to waive it.
All in favor?
Is there, aye.
Aye.
Is there a time limit on that? Sorry.
Annually. So it'll
Huh?
waive the whole year annually. So every year we have to waive it. So all year, once it's approved,
Okay.
we do, and then we report it to NBE. We waived it.
Okay. Is there any sanction or anything for that? For not doing it?
No.
No, it's in the statute.
No.
that we-
Told them we do our own. No, just kidding.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Oh, they
do the Anishinaabe Valley.
They do.
Do the Anishinaabe prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. We did.
All right, so number 9 is known old business, and number 10 is adjournment. Motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:51. Second.
Hold on.
Public comment is over.
3 hours not a public. 3 hours and a 5-minute break.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
3 hours and a 5-minute.
What time did we adjourn? 7:50?
7:51.
7:51.
Now needs a
Okay.
special just for that.
Hey, you guys are already adjourned.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. We're all adjourned. There's a lot going on. Just kidding.
Is this in the?
I don't know, but we do need to get August.
Yeah, the share drive needs to be updated.
This one will get in.
Do you mind if I
and
get a
this
quick
is-
copy of this?
Yep.
Now.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted a copy of the,
This,
yep.
okay.
That-
I feel like when you don't guys are iPads, or things like those.
We'll take MacBooks.
Yep. So.
Ricky, bring my phone back here. I need to look at my calendar.
If this they gave me again. It's not even up, I can't even download an app on me. Is it admin? This is outdated.
No more update.
Next is okay. It's a job done. Yeah. I gotta go. My kids are- I went to DoorDash, so it's not bothering.
I don't think it was gonna be long, so I threw everything in a crock pot. Wait, I'm not even dealing with it.
I didn't know.
So are we gonna do a special?
I don't know.
Maybe?
I think you can talk to Rochelle about that. If we got to do a special after we review those documents.
I think
Okay.
it's-
Yeah. I think we.
All right.
expect
Okay,
that.
I'll reach out to Rochelle.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Gigawabman me na.
I felt
Not
like
good.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
What?
And
I was
then-
gonna ask, are we still recording?
Yep.
Oh, never mind, I'll ask you
Yeah.
later.
And then you
Okay.
have-
All right. Gigawabman me na.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Wobbling.
Bye-bye.
The Endazhi files.
I'm getting.
Oh, yeah, we'll go back to that. I know all the way to that point of view.
Yeah. No, I was getting more through opening. I gotta go. Yeah. That's why I still have to go back, even maybe I think Chelsea does too. Wow. Yeah. And your son goes to the ACW? Yeah, AWCL or whatever, yeah, yeah. That's, is that right by Voyager?
It is,
How is it there?
I don't know, he still wants to come back, but I mean, like, he comes home with a smile every day and it's smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, I mean, like, there's some cool pins there too, you know, it seems like a little more outdoorsy than
Yeah.
the elementary school and kind of more, I don't know, like more. I'm not sure how to say it, you know, I mean, like, up to date or, you know, whereas, I mean, like, public schools can't, be, you know, that way. It's
Yeah.
sort of like, you know, there's MMIW stuff handling the, things, and then they're, you know, playing outside in the back, and they had a, fundraiser at, that, what's that place in town, Bemidji Brewery,
Oh,
or
yeah.
their outdoor area, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's things that, you know, and the way to pull it more together that.
Community oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he still wants to go back to that.
He probably misses his friends and all the
Yeah.
teachers and staff. They were great.
They are, and then you know what, you know, and then he's kind of worried that.